All right, good morning, gang. Just running a few minutes late. This is Dan from tradingology.com in the trading room for October 8th. We got a Thursday, and as always, we have Dave joining us over from the Strong Market team. So welcome, Dave. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Dan. Always a pleasure. Morning, Andre. Morning, Kyle.
Yeah, we'll get the doors open up. Tim's joining. Gave these guys a little hint that they like getting the reminder because I know with everything going on, it's easy to forget when we're starting. So
absolutely. Everybody needs a reminder.
Right. One thing I did notice just watching the early activity here is we got a lot of wicks going on today, just on the ES itself. So I think there's a lot of infighting. Looks like it might be starting to take a little move here now, but it's always interesting. I noticed on those days where we have big wicks to both up and down sides.
You know, it's I just have this, I don't know if it's my spidey sense or what's going on here, but I just don't feel really positive. I just don't think that from where we are right now, we can sustain a really sharp rally higher. I mean, obviously we've gone up. I mean, geez, we're almost up 1,000 points from that 500-point dip on Tuesday. But something doesn't feel right here.
Yeah, I was also looking at, you mentioned that too. It's funny you say that because I was dialing in about a week's worth of charts here as I was also looking at the internals. As we know, it's very typical for it to oscillate, right? Where it's up and it's down and it's up and it's down, just the undulations of the market itself.
Right.
Outside of that dip where Trump said that there was going to be no stimulus and the market crashed for hundreds of points, we've had, 1, 2, 3, 4.5 days of ups.
Right.
So it's a little bit outside of the ordinary. And I pulled that into the index charts as well, where we see, there's the big dip as I hover over the Dow and it'll cross over to the NDX and the SPY or the SPX. Yeah, we're definitely, it's a shooting arrow straight up right now. And that's outside of the normal as well. And I saw a comment on someone's video that I was watching yesterday where it's like, yeah, we're so overextended. When are we going to see the right, a true market correction? It's like, well, we don't have a true market for a long time. It's what this guy called it, a managed market now, versus, a fair open market where price discovery actually happens. So I found that very interesting as well. It's like, yeah, we're, this is all being managed by other people and all the buying going on because, yeah, with the economy in the toilet for how long it's been, and we have record high. Look at this. NDX is hitting a high here. SPX just hit a high this morning.
Wow.
That was probably not far away from it with the bubbles and how long the charts are going. So that's definitely, I found interest in that as well. So it's like either, you ride the wave until you can for these people, but they better watch out when it happens because it's going to be one of these and worse when it does, is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I was talking to my wife this morning because, we were thinking, gee, the 401k that she has is just like, it's doing okay. It's doing pretty well in this environment. But, I said, hey, we could wake up on a Sunday morning, Sunday night open and get a 5,000 point decline. I mean, we've had 2,000 points declines. I wouldn't be surprised to see something even bigger. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm skeptical of what's going on in the economy and Trump's current, state of mind about the negotiations going on. But I think there's risk in the market that people are not counting on. They're not pricing in the kind of decline that we saw on Tuesday. And like you said, it could be way worse than that. So, I'm cautious here. We do see a lot of bullish shorting, though. I'm glad you brought up the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I did notice. I was going to ask you about that as well, because we have seen it's starting to look like, we had quiet times a little bit where it was less than 100-point days back here in early August, middle August.
Yeah, you're right. We're over 100 points almost every single day. We've hit 500, 400 almost every single day. And if you notice, the average volume per share is starting to pick up again.
Yeah,
starting to get some big numbers there.
Yeah, outside of the few days where I think there's the heavy manipulation happening, that they rebuy it because they had a down day and they forgot to stop someone. Who knows? I was going to ask about seeing, the Dow changes those multiple hundreds now, 1, 4, 3, 5. I'm kind of surprised to see that MT vols ticking down a little bit. What's the secret sauce behind there, if you recall, or I shouldn't say what's the secret sauce, or is there any correlation there or not correlation?
No, I mean, well, the pipeline kind of tells you what the MT volatility. So the pipeline is more shorter term. The MT volatility is longer term. And so when you start to see the pipeline move down to like that 63%, that 56% in the middle there, we're at 50%, 57% in the third column. That's the most kind of current reading of MT volatility. And it eventually will bleed into MT volatility numbers. So we'll probably see lower numbers. But because of the volatility we've seen over the last couple of weeks, that it looks like all of the sellers have been sucked right out of the market. That's what it's telling me. That's a very, very short-term indication that there's not much volatility left there, especially when you see all the bullish herding. So, like I said, even after, in fact, Tuesday, didn't I say that there's buildup of bullish herding, which it does not end overnight. And of course, the very same day we get the 500-point decline.
Of course.
But we have rebounded completely from that, which proves my point that when you have a lot of bullish herding, it doesn't end in a day.
Well, the other part that was interesting too, that kind of goes along with that, is if you take that out of the mix, it's almost like they corrected him saying that, because he came back, oh wait, no, we're still going to do $1,200. If you look at, where it was trending, and he made that announcement and the market reacted, and then all of a sudden the next day it came right back up. So it's almost like this didn't happen.
Yeah.
It just kind of went straight across. If you look at it from, start to finish, if I draw a line here, whether it's the index or the Dow or anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like it never happened. Like it was just a completely erased from the mind of the market. But what's really even stranger than that is, when I started trading in 1987, through the 90s and even into the 2000s, early 2000s, the market moved based on earnings per share. If a company had great earnings, if they were making money, if they were doing well, then their stock went up. I mean, it was a completely different way of evaluating the market. Today, it's whether or not we're getting stimulus checks.
Right, which has nothing to do with the actual stock market and the companies underlying it.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it at all. It has nothing to do with the earnings per share. It has nothing to do with how much the companies are making, how well they're managed, whether or not the economic environment is really growing. If the GDP is growing, we know GDP is not growing. I mean, we had a terrible GDP number. And so what is this really being fueled on? It's being fueled on the fact that the government's pumping in all kinds of money by selling bonds to the Federal Reserve. That's really it.
You know what's going to happen? GDP is going to change the acronym. It's not going to be the gross domestic product. It's the government domestic product.
I think they're already close to 60% of the entire economy now.
Right.
So pretty soon it's going to be the entire economy.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the catalyst is going to be to send the market lower. Whether it's, if it is the stopping or not having a deal in the stimulus plan, or it's just beyond reason at this point.
Yeah, Kevin's got a good one there. He remembers looking at the old value line books so you could evaluate a stock.
Yeah, that's right. Value line. That's right. I mean, boy, you had earnings per share. Companies were growing. Outlook for the economy is good. You're going to get, greater market share. Those are the kind of things that, meant something. If a company was making money today, it doesn't matter if they make money.
Yeah. How would you like to be these people that were, hardcore fundamental researchers that went to work for a brokerage or went to work for some type of money managers, and they're doing all their work, and suddenly none of that matters anymore. Thanks for your time, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's just absolutely incredible. I don't think I've heard anybody actually mention anything about earnings. The only thing that I've really heard is the fact that Home Depot and Lowe's have done well because people are home, they're looking around their house, seeing what kind of projects they can get into. Maybe.
I'll tell you, I can testify to that one because we're just about out of projects to do in our house. We've fixed 2 bathrooms, we've done this, we've done that. It's like, yeah, we're done.
I've got one project that I have pending here, and the weather's got to warm up a little bit. But I just got this cool tool. It's called the paint eater, and basically what it does is kind of scrapes the outside of the house, makes nice smooth finishes, and it's really really cool. So I don't have to hand sand it or burn it off the paint. But we had the house painted a few years ago, but I've got a few spots I want to touch up. That's all.
There's always something more.
Always something.
Kevin's asking if anyone else put on a VXX trade. Dave or I personally didn't. At least I know I personally didn't. I don't believe Dave did, Kevin. But that's one thing I was going to ask a few people in the room, because I did not get a chance to take a reading just for my tracking of the spreadsheet. So Kevin, if you got a reading of the call and put prices on the VXX around 15 minutes after the open yesterday, definitely let me know or shoot me an email, or anybody that might have recorded that. I would love to add that just for tracking on the spreadsheet.
I don't have them recorded, but I did look at them, and they were almost identical. I think it was 246 on the call side, and it was 248 on the put side. So they were really pretty close to each other.
Okay.
See if Kevin did that. Please share it, Kevin. I don't know if I did it right after the open though. I don't know. We'll see.
You're probably sitting pretty decent if you did as well, because this is the other thing to watch out for, not to warn you or scare you or anything, Kevin, but we're down right around that 24 level again. That has historically been a level of support. We have definitely a longer than normal Darvis box forming here. As I look at, bringing more historical, where we see it's been shorter time frame ones. This one's definitely double as long as the last couple ones, probably because of this little spike that happened around early September. But yeah, now we're down here at the bottom of the box, 24 level that Dave found. Remember, it was his spidey senses were tingling again. I'm glad it's paper trade, Kevin. Good. Yes, Andre, that is correct. As I read the comments. So yeah, he was saying just paper trade till the election. So absolutely. And we're not putting real trades on this. So yes, you guys are absolutely correct. And so that is one thing to watch for here as the next couple of weeks unfold. Let's see if we get below this 24 level, because right now we're dead on it.
Yeah, that Darvis box jumped it's gotten larger, which means that the price volatility is stronger, and I can't really tell from that whether or not we're going to break below 24 or that continues, and it has been support. We've kind of bounced off of those levels. But yeah, the boxes are definitely getting bigger. They shrunk a little bit back there in August. I think it was end of July, August, and then they started getting bigger again.
Yeah, here's probably the shortest one. There was June, then July was pretty short.
Well, the one right there in August, I think, was even thinner than that one. But
yeah, so yeah, shorter, bigger yet.
Yeah, that's just something to keep an eye on.
All right.
All right. Kevin says he has at 11:30, 259 for the call and 217 for the put. Okay. So yeah, and I think I came in right around 15 to 20 minutes after the open and just kind of spied on the VXX, and they were about even.
All right. The one thing that we do, we like to watch that calendar as always. I did notice again, unemployment claims close to 1 million at 840,000, which was higher than their forecast once again. So that continues on a weekly basis, has not changed. Almost 1 million every week. Let me turn. There we go. We'll bring that guy over here. So it's almost identical from the previous week, 9,000 difference. Last week, and they were forecasting 820 today, came in at 840. In our very short week for higher impacting news of the oranges and the reds. Interesting that there's been less news in the first week of October. I've never seen it that scarce for news events or for calendar events.
Yeah, that is odd. I think I didn't listen to Powell speak yesterday. Did you?
I did not listen to the minutes if there's anything interesting.
He's just kind of he's just kind of reemphasizing the fact that they can't go too far if they continue to do stimulus, because this is the time to do it. So he's urging Congress to go ahead and continue with the stimulus, which, I think as a practical matter, everybody could probably use it, especially the 30 million that are unemployed. Looks like cryptocurrencies are up a little bit today. We've got Bitcoin going up about $200. We got XRP back over 25 cents. We got that moving higher a little bit. It dipped under a penny there.
I saw that on the V chain.
Yeah,
I think that was a nice little opportunity for some people.
Absolutely. XLM was just about at 70 cents or 7 cents this morning. Now it's at 7.3 cents. So it looks like things are moving up, and I'm not sure why. Maybe just because of the stock market. The Dixie is up a little bit. I've been watching 93.70 on the DXY, and we're above that now. So I don't know if this is a little pump in cryptocurrencies before they dump it over the weekend, or it's the beginning of a new move higher.
We'll pull that guy over for you here too. That was tracking up and up, and that's the monthly chart. Let's go back to like a weekly. And then just to compare, you guys saw it definitely rocketed up there when a couple days ago when that happened.
Yep.
How we do an intraday? Yeah, there was when they dumped it.
Now it looks like we got a little bit of selling pressure over that 93.75 level. So, but it has been holding around that 93.70. It looks like it was moving higher over the last couple of days, but it hasn't really. I mean, it's probably put a cap or a little bit of pressure on cryptocurrencies. But right now, I can't tell if this is the beginning of a new rally higher or it's just kind of a sideways movement. It's kind of tough.
Kevin's got a question. If the at the money is 24.70, well, take out what you're looking at. This is always the fun part I have with rounding and just math, right? Just look at just plain rounding rules, Kevin. So if you have 24.7 and you're rounding to the nearest single digit, do you round up or down from there? 24.7 rounds up, you got it. So that'd be a 25.
Yeah, and then when you do when you're doing the spacing, 25 rounds up to 2.5.
Yep, exactly. So you do
round up and up.
So 24 and below is going to be 2 whatever strikes away, and 25 and above is going to be 3 away.
And generally, anytime we're over 20, you're going to have a, anytime you're over 25, you're and rarely over 20, you're erring on the side of a greater distance between the strikes, which gives you a little more credit, number one. But then when it's under 20 and you're back in the teens on VXX, those smaller strikes between the ladder rungs will give you a greater opportunity for long positions. So it works in your favor by doing that.
You're welcome. Glad to help, Kevin. All right, we'll slide this guy back over.
Yeah, not sure about the DXY. I don't know. Cryptos are kind of moving a little bit higher here. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it definitely is getting a little bit of a pump. Yeah.
How's Bitcoin breaking above anything yet? Let me pull that guy up.
10.9. So we were at 10.5 last night. I was watching it. Now we're at 10.9. So we're really up about. Turn off my notifications here. Yeah, so we'll see. It really all depends on what happens with the DXY.
Definitely, yeah, 3% up. As you mentioned, here's the vet dip where 0.0097, it hit the low point right there. That's what Dave was referring to.
Yeah, that was a good buying opportunity if anybody was able to take advantage of that.
Ethereum, everybody's up. Yep, as you say, just a little bit on all of them.
Just a little bit. It looks like it looks like you got a moving average there. What's the whatever that moving average?
That's the default one that Binance throws in there. I forget which one that is. I didn't put any of the lines on the chart, so this is all them.
I wonder if it's because it's the default that's a support. So they just kind of threw that in. Everybody watches that one because it's a default.
Right. Wouldn't surprise me.
But we'll see. I think it really depends on what stocks do the next couple of days. I'm not buying any more cryptocurrencies at this point, but I am watching them carefully.
Yep, just let them ride right now. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
I did see some people that are, there's always people that have to complain, right? I'm selling on everything. It's like, well, sell it then. Everyone's got to make their own choice.
Yep,
nothing's guaranteed in life, right?
That's right. I mean, hey, as far as cryptocurrencies go, I mean, if you got to have a long-term view. If you don't, you can't stay in the game.
Exactly. Leave it in there and pretend it doesn't even exist and look at it once a month if you want to.
That's right. As long as you're not trading on margin.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we see the internals creeping higher with some separation as we're going to come down to the end of the week here. Look for any final notes or thoughts that we have. Looks like a little pump up there in the ES. It's making bubbles. Where are we at? 1% up on the Russell, 0.5% on the NQ almost, 3/4 on the ES, and 0.5% up on the YM. So everyone's got room up there. Internals are all tracking close to around 2,000, not above it, but definitely on the higher side. So this is another day, similar as we say, is typically doesn't reverse on unless something crazy happens and Trump says something crazy that affects the market again.
Yeah, like the thing is, I love data. I am a data guy, as you know, from the spreadsheet. I just love numbers. And so I typically go with the numbers, but if I look at the spreadsheet and I see all that bullish herding, I'm thinking it's going to take a lot for this market to go down based on that bullish herding. But if it does, like it did on Tuesday without any warning, that kind of signals a change in sentiment.
Tim says, grab your Spark tokens for those who own XRP. Lots of possibilities in Spark contract world.
Yeah, I wonder if Coinbase is on board with that yet.
He says not yet.
Okay, well, that's the only exchange I can really use. How about Bitstamp? Do you know about Bitstamp, Tim? I can do my own research, but you seem to have the answers today.
It's always fun. It's a community we share, right? He doesn't yet. Do you have any yet, Tim? Or where did you get yours, if you did?
I heard. Well, I heard it wasn't coming out. They weren't going to do the Spark token until December, I think. I heard something about that, but you had to have it on an exchange or something. He'll do it off Ledger. Okay, no problem.
Maybe we'll do a session on that. We'll do some weeds and because I don't know anything about it personally either. I've only heard a little bit here and there.
Yeah, I'm only getting anecdotal news on that, so I'm not really sure either.
We'll do some background. Once we know more info, we'll bring it to you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's see. Did we forget anything?
Did you watch the VP debate yesterday?
I didn't, but I saw the internet blow up about the fly. I saw Mark Cuban tweeted, sorry to hear that he's only going to be remembered for a fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see any of it other than the 1 or 2 minutes that the news quoted him. So
I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of anger.
Yeah, still, even for those two.
Yeah, just wow. A lot of bickering and anger, just a lot of aggressive behavior. I don't know. I guess it's just because of the times. I think everybody, you know, I hate to see that. I'd rather just have them sit down and have a discussion instead of standing at a podium. Maybe they could sit down together in a couple of chairs with a nice fire going and a cup of tea.
Well, didn't they do that in the clip I saw the recording? They were sitting in chairs because I noticed they were nice chairs.
Oh,
For
yeah,
the,
actually, they were sitting. They weren't. That's right. They weren't at a podium. The clip I saw where they were both kind of yelling at each other. It was. Yeah, they were. You're right. They were in chairs.
so yeah, maybe they need to sit around like a campfire and have a discussion and
Yeah,
then
they just
film
need to
that.
be closer together. Kumbaya. You know.
But still 6 feet, Dave. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Sorry,
right.
I couldn't resist.
That's right. Yes.
Kevin's
Okay.
been busy on Tezos.
Ah,
Or he's been buying. I thought you said busy for a second there.
yeah. There's a lot of coins that are on my radar, but I had forgotten about Tezos. Although we did talk about, it's not the same, right? T0? No, what is it? T0 group. Tezos is not the same as T0, is it?
Yeah, I think that was a different one that you're recalling. I know what
It's-
you're. I understand what you're trying to remember.
The STO.
Yes.
Yeah. And I tried to buy it actually on Thinkorswim, but they rejected the order. I guess it's not available for trade yet. I think they just list the price.
Got it.
But there's a couple of interesting projects. I know Tezos is doing. Zilliqa is another one. It's at 0.019 cents right now. It's kind of a competitor to Ethereum. And if you go to Unstoppable Domains, they are also selling .zil, Z-I-L domains instead of .crypto. .crypto is through the Ethereum blockchain. And the other blockchain domains that they're selling is through Zilliqa.
Okay.
Smart contract, kind of an Ethereum, not a clone, but has very similar properties for smart contracts. And can also do non-fungible tokens.
And if you don't know what non-fungible tokens are, you can go learn about them at Dave's course at Learn Info Product Lab. I know you had that up. That's one of your more recent ones.
That's right. It is. It's all about non-fungible tokens. It's a really interesting space, especially the art space. Non-fungible art. Actually, I saw this morning on a podcast or on a YouTube video that Christie's had auctioned a non-fungible token art project, and it sold for $131,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Early days. It's good to know what's happening before it hits the mainstream.
Absolutely. All right, guys, it's going to be a bouncy day, even though we're kind of high on the internals. Looks kind of like a little bit of a volatile day today.
Yep. Looks like they're starting to, we get that separation. It's one of those, it's not, nothing's guaranteed, even though they're high right here. You get the separation in volume and issues. That's troublesome. And we're at the top of the hour, so appreciate you guys coming out for the week again. And hope you guys have a great weekend. Peace and quiet. Enjoy yourselves. Do whatever you need to do. And we'll catch you guys back here on Monday.
Yep. Thanks, Tim. Yeah, Monday. Interesting day. Of course, over the weekend. It's always going to be interesting. But we're going to talk asymmetrical versus symmetrical trading.
Ooh, interesting.
Yes.
I like it.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. See you, Dan.
See you guys.